Yes, it's visible.
Okay. How many you have already have experience in the Linux? Anyone work? Like I know Ganesh is already working, right? And the Siddharth.
Yes, yes, Namdev.
I have little bit knowledge on Linux also, but no, not in deeply knowledge.
Okay.
So today we are only means covering the Linux or Git as well.
Linux, Git, and tomorrow Jenkins. Let me quickly launch this instance. If you are going to for the particular Linux profile for the job posting or position, then you have to be a master on that. Like you will get the lots of questions like boot process, directory structure, and other troubleshooting commands there. But in the DevOps nowadays, just having the knowledge of the file permission management, your shell scripting little bit, how to use the prompt, and how to check the server logs, any troubleshooting commands there, that will be sufficient. At least runtime we can learn if any new task comes to us related to any shell scripting or any Linux based task. But as you already aware in the market nowadays, people mostly use Docker container, Kubernetes, and ECS container like that. So that use cases is very minimum now. But having knowledge is very good because we don't know when we come any particular task in the Linux, and company will not effort separately to hire the Linux expertise. So as a DevOps, we need to manage those tasks like any writing any basic shell scripting to perform in daily basis operations. If you have an infrastructure on the EC2 instance, something like that. Things nowadays people manage by the Lambda function as there are multiple runtimes supported as a programming language. So people use that to execute for the particular time period. Yesterday, one users come to me on my basically WhatsApp chat. He's just saying me like he's a existing subscriber. He was facing that issue 2x2 checks failure. So their instance check was failure. So he tried to restart multiple times, but still that not resolved. So finally, one more options AWS provided like you need to stop this instance and then start again. So in that case, that's a resolve. So he tried again that stop and start. The finals happen resolve. But this issue you will get very rare case 2x2 checks fail. Let me quickly log into this server. So the person who already working on this Linux, what kind of operations you are performing now? Just other can get the idea like what kind of task you will get as a real time.
Means as a
Can
part
you
of the as a part of the real time, we are creating the new servers by getting the means we are getting the document as per the requirement of them. So as per their requirement, we are building the server, giving the permission. If any existing server is there, we are extending their resources like CPU, RAM, hard disk by using the multipathing as well.
Mhm.
And yeah, a lot of things also. Also, we are adding kernel modules as well and doing upgradation of applying the security patches. And if in case of any issue, if any server get fails, we are troubleshooting on that part as well. Yeah, similar kind of things we are performing,
okay? And that is in VMware, right?
both physical as well as VMware.
Okay. Okay, just for the Sharad or Aditya, I think they are new to this Linux. Aditya, you joined somewhere, right, for the Linux?
No, sir.
Who joined?
It
Acha,
was
Wiki.
Vicky. Yeah.
Okay. So Linux is similar to like Windows OS operating system, which where I had lots of other distributors. Distributions flavor. You can see Ubuntu, OpenSUSE, Arch Linux, Debian, and CentOS. For as a server size, most of the time we use Ubuntu or CentOS. They have a different operating kernel version and the other structure and the package availability repo management. So I tried as a real time both one CentOS and the Ubuntu. Even graphical version, client version you can use for the Ubuntu as a desktop. So you don't need to worry about the performance because as we know Windows takes too much resource consumption when we use. Even you observe on your personal laptops or any Windows machine. And when you launch any EC2 instance in the AWS environment as well, it takes 30 GB storage. But for the Linux, it takes only 8 GB storage. So that are there some basic differences in the OS flavors if you compare to this Windows to Linux. So I will not go into the detail for now because you can add theoretical, you can definitely read it out. So I will show you quickly the some of the basic commands which you can use in the real time if you get any opportunity to work on the Linux, and then how we can write any sample shell scripting there. Then how to give any particular special permission for any particular files. So I will show you that, and some of the generals and troubleshooting commands and VIM editors. So in Windows, we can easily use editors like you can see this is the Notepad++. You can use any other node editors like a Notepad, which is the system by default, or any other applications. But in Linux, we have a few things like Nano as well and VI editor. This both are same VI and VIM, but VIM gives more user interface graphical way. I will show you both one. Then we can see some shell scripting how we can execute that. And I have collected some of the reference URL for you just topic wise like so this will give you really benefit for you understanding the file system, then shell scripting about the and some Linux commands via editors. Okay, definitely I will show you the commands how we can execute that. But additionally, I have just collected these URLs, so you can definitely go and just refer that. And some recommended websites which I personally follow when I work with this initial phase of the Linux tutorial points, which is they have modified very better way nowadays. So earlier version was very different thing, but now they have added the runtime as well. So if you want to do any practicals by using any programming language, so you don't need to use your own PC. You can directly go visit this website. I will show you that, and you can execute your any bash scripting or something or any programming language code. Then TechMint also TechMint, the Gig stuff, and this other website also has very good content. If you can refer those, that will give you benefits. And this one, I think you know, free code camp. And this for the tutorial points. So when we work as a Linux administrator or as a DevOps in the Linux, so we need to be very careful while executing the commands because the one command which will corrupt your system, RM command. Okay, I will show you that what will happen if you mistake any wrong pattern in a shell scripting or something. Okay, so this is the very dangerous command I can say. Like you need to be used very carefully that if you execute that command in different path somewhere and you miss any variables or path location, so that will give you trouble in terms of managing the production servers. Then we will see package management, how we can install any particular packages and how we can remove that as well. User management in Linux definitely not required, but if you are working on the any physical machines, in that case you require this, how to create any additional users, how to set the passwords like that. So this prompt font is visible, or should I increase more?
It's visible.
Okay. So if I check the Windows folder structure, you can see we have this program files and program files 86. So here, whatever the applications we have installed, we are using as a in the system, we will get all the details here. You can see the applications here, and if I go back to this, we will get other whatever the software we are using. Notepad plus plus, your MySQL, Node.js, Microsoft.NET, something. Okay. So same directory structure in the Linux will be like different. If I go to just for the to avoid the permission issues every time, I can make it a switch user. This will gives full access. Okay. So if I go to root directory structure and if I press ls here, so you can see there are multiple directory structure here: boot, dev, etc, home, your local file media, mount point, mnt, opt, proc, root. Okay, these are the different things like where, usr, syst. So each folder has their different use cases. Okay, so we don't need to go every time in each folder directory, directory structure. So normally inside the home, let me give you some theoretical thing here. So bin folder like your binary or executable programs, which I show in the programming files here. So whatever the things we have installed on your operating system, you will see under this programming files. So inside this binary, you can see here the program and your executable files. Slash etc for basically your configuration files. So whatever the like, if you install any MySQL package or your Nginx as a web servers or Apache, so that configuration file will store here by default under this slash etc. Okay. Then your home directory for user home directory, like if you are using EC2 user or any root user, you will get the home directory under this. Then any applications you have installed, sometimes it will come in in this opt folder. Then the main is where file, where you can see the log files basically most of the time. So you will get all the folder structure. I have added this link in this documentation as well. Okay. So if I go to home, I can see whatever the users present in your system. Let's say for now you can see EC2 hyphen user. This is a by default user. So if you create any additional user like add user command, demo user, so that will get the added here under the home. You can see the demo user. So I'm using this user add command in Linux, but in Ubuntu that command might not work. In that case, you need to use the command add user in that case. Okay. So there's flavor wise different slightly some changes there, like executing the commands like in Linux, sorry, in CentOS or Amazon Linux, we can use yum as a package manager, but in Ubuntu cases, we need to use the apt, that apt get to install any particular packages or removing. And if I go to this slash etc directory, you can see all the configurations files here. So as of now, we have not additionally installed like your MySQL or something, but if you install that, so that configuration file will come here by default. If I try to install, let me see. Okay, that required at the repository, but that comes under this slash etc. And your application log files that will come under this var folder directory. So you can see the system related files, let's say, or if I can install this, let me just for testing, I'm just installing this web server Nginx. So you can see that we use yum as a package manager here to install the particular packages. So that once that package installed, you can start this service by using systemctl start nginx. Earlier it was not a systemctl, it was just a service, but the going forward the version got changes. So they have made a system related changes here. If I want to check the status, you can see status. So you can see the status here active is running. And this log file will generate automatically under this var directory. Okay. If I go to var, then your log file inside the log, you will get that nginx as a folder. So here you can get this log file var log and access log. So if I use pwd command is just to check the present working directory. So basically where you are in Windows, we can easily get, we don't need to run the command. Let me, if I go to this something, you can see in the top where I am. Okay. But in Linux, we need to execute the commands. So without any execute commands, you cannot find any details. So as Windows, as a we normally use from the childhood or something, but in Linux, we need to learn some terminologies like which command, how we can execute. And if I want to check any particular file logs, so there are two things. Either we can use tail command. Tail command is just to print the last 10 lines or something. And if you give the any file name, you will see that. But now there is no log file, so you cannot see anything. Let me try to hit that. This application. So this is just default website page here. So now I should get the log files. See, if I use -f, it will automatically give the real-time logs. So I'm just trying to hit one more time. You can see it will generate the logs. You can see. So these are the commands you can check to any particular log files. If I want to come out of from this, you can simply press Ctrl C from your keyboard. If you want to check complete content of this file, you can use cat command, but avoid this using cat command if you have a larger file size. How you can check the larger file size? So by using du-sh command and give the file name. So it will give you the size of the file. So if you have a larger files, just try to you avoid the using cat command, because if sometimes if system configuration is very low, so it might be a stuck this process or hang this server. So either you can use tail command or like tail -n and give the particular number and the log file. So it will print only that files, that content line. ls command you can use for to check the list of files. So wherever you are in the directory, let's say I'm in the varlog nginx. If I move to /etc, let's say cd command we can use to change the directory, or you can give the any path. Then if I do ls here, you can see list of files and folders I can see easily. So ls command is for that. If you want to create any, I will not show the complete list of commands here. I can quickly show the important one here, and I will share this list of commands with the one-liner description, so you can get the idea like why we need to use this command like uptime. Okay, so just a few couple of commands I can show you quickly. Let's say here if I do ls list of files, so I don't see any folders. Okay, folders of files. If I want to create any particular directory, directory means your folders folder. So I can use a make directory command mkdir and just give any name like demo data or something, and you can see. If I do ls or double L list of files, you can see the folders here. If I want to create any temporary empty file, so I can use touch command here, and you can give the file name like text file txt, and you can see the file has been created. This is just a empty files. If I want to add anything in this content or just check the content for this test file, I can use cat command. As of now, there is no content available in this file, so I can use here vi or vim, okay, and file name. How you can go into the insert mode? You can just press I here to go into the insert mode and just write down any content here. How you can save this file? Just first press the escape from your keyboard, then shift colon and WQ. WQ means save and exit. If you just press only W, it will not exit. It will just save. Now if you want to quit, so you can use Q here. So you will come out of from this. If I now check this file, so I can see the content hello world. So if you want to change again, so you can just go and just do insert mode again. I'm just pressing the I, and you can add any content like adding more content. And just press escape from your keyboard, again shift colon, and if I do WQ now, I can save it easily. If I want to check again, you can see the content has been added, adding more content here, the extra line. So there are different things in this VI editor. I have just added one reference link for you, like adding more shortcuts keys and or deleting. Like if you want to delete this line from your keyboard, you can press DD1 two times DD. Okay, within a fraction of seconds quickly. So it will that content will delete. If I want to undo it again, just press escape and U. It will be undo your process. So whatever you have action taken, like deleting the content. Okay, so this will not work on your Linux, like not Linux, like the command prompt. If you have deleted any files, but in VIM editor, you can use this escape and U. So it will undo the process, your whatever action taken, like delete the files or something. In VIM, let me give one more thing here. If you want to copy paste this line, so you can press Y and your P. So it will be copy and paste. So now I want to show you one more thing like find and replace. So in Windows, we use very simple things, if you want to find and replace something, like we can see either we can use Control F to find any particular words, and just we can replace from here, find and replace easily. Okay. So how you can do this in the VIM editor or VI editor? So you can use shift colon your percent mark and your search. Let's say more is here. I want to replace with demo. Okay, and give the G just to check the globalization in the file. So we can easily change your content. So what will be the option? Percent yes search. Then your source content, source word like which you want to change. Like for example, if I want to change here now, it will be a demo. Okay, and for demo I want to change the, let's say, learn. So it will be find the word demo and it will replace as a learn with this complete file. See, so this way you can just do any modification. If you have, let's say, what will be the use cases to save the time in this case? Let's say if you are modifying any particular configuration files, So there might be any IP address in that configuration files or any username of the any databases or any repeated word where you use. Now you want to replace that word or a IP address or something in the configuration files. So in that case, just doing any one by one changes which will be more time consuming. So in that case, you can use this tricks to find and replace, which you normally use in the either Microsoft Word or any editor, as you can see in the Notepad++. Now, if you want to save these changes, again same shift colon from your keyboard and then WQ. So if I want to check now this file, you can see cat command is to check the content of the file. Okay. CD command I have shown you already. So I want to show you one more thing here. Let me create the one more folder like backup folder. You can use mkdir command here to create the folder. If I do ls here, I can see the backup folder has been created. So now what I'm doing is I want to copy this test folder, sorry, text file to this backup folder. Okay. So as we know in the Windows graphical, we can just simply just right click and copy and paste where we want. Okay. But in the Linux, we that will not work. We can use cp command. Cp command and then your options. If you do not sure about which option should I use here, either you can go with this man command or sometimes the hyphen help will work out. This is just to check the options. If you are not sure which option should I use or if you want to check any options meaning of that. So this command will help out. Let's say if I use here, normally we use a recursive. So if we want to check that meaning of that, you can see here recursive. Copy directory recursively. Then your V means your verbose. Verbose means it will show the output. So these are the options you can just check by using this option. Any particular command, then hyphen help. So that will give the complete description. So this command will work out for what purpose and what are the options you can use. So the thing is now let me copy this. So this is recursive your verbose. So it will give the things. I will show you that. Just add the say source file which I want to copy test file, and where I am going to copy that location should be here. Like I'm adding copying this file to backup folder. So I am just giving the path here. OK, so if I do here, I can see this output. And if I just check now in the backup, I can see that file. So cp command, which is basically copy command, you can use to copy the content. Now in sometime cases in the real time, we might get some more approach like let's say, let me give you one example. So that might be helpful if you get anywhere the requirement. I hope every some of the people are already aware about the rsync command. Anyone use that in the project?
Yes, means for the backup purposes.
Okay. So the difference between this copy command and the rsync command is basically copy command can use only copy the whole thing like source to target your target source folder or files to target location. But in rsync, sometimes let's say this is your source device where every day you will get the data or files in this device. So let's say first time you executed this command, rsync command, it will copy all the content in the target location. But again, next day, if you want to copy only incremental changes, What is the meaning of incremental changes? Which means yesterday you have copied 2 folders. Now in that folders, 3 files are there. Now if anything added here, like in the files, any content added or any extra files added here, only those changes I want to copy. So that is called as an incremental, so that I can easily copy with this rsync command. So every time you don't need to copy whole things here from the source to target. So that incremental changes every day you can easily copy with this rsync command. So let's say if you copy 10 GB of the data. So now every day copying the 10 GB data is not logical. So in that case, you can use this rsync command to copy the only incremental changes to rsync command. If I go back, you can go back one step back to just by giving this command like cd space dot dot. If I can show the location, so I can I'm in the under this root. IPconfig command is to just to check the IP address of the servers, and IPconfig you can use on your Windows machine. So you can see the IP address of the system. Or I think one more command is there, IP add hyphen r something. I'm not recalling now, but something like this. If you want to check your host name of the servers, you can use this host name as a command. So you will get your host name. In Windows, we can easily check by just right clicking on the my computer and the properties where we can get the host name. Even command prompt as well, we will get that. And if you want to check your disk space of the servers, so we can use this df-h command. H means use human readable format. So you can see your main root directory here, this one. Okay, always consider this. So it's a 8 GB storage, and out of that 8 GB storage, I'm using 1.6. This will be a system related files and folders here, packages. Then in percentage wise, you can see here the utilization. So if in real time, if you get any disk space full issues or something, you can easily increase that by using the lsblk command just to check the blocks, and just e2fs resize to fs command and grow fs. It's depend on the file system. If you want to check file system, you can use this command df-h capital T. You can see here bfat. In Windows we have a fat32 something nfs. So in Linux we have a ext xfs, like that. If you want to check memory for your servers, you can use free-tm. So m is for your it will show in the memory. If you have a in GB, you want to check the in GB, you can see. But now if this server is not crossing the GB as a memory kind of configuration, so it's not showing anywhere here. So if you let's say you have more than 1 GB, it will show in the GB here. So easily you can understand how much GB is the memory of the servers. And out of that, how much available use cases you can use. You can just easily find out here. If you have configured any swap memory, you can see here in the swap. One more command like you might get in the entry questions, or depend on the entry panel or the position where you are applying for. So if you want to check any how many which sports are open on my servers, so you can use this netstat command. So whatever the services, like you are using Nginx as a web servers, then MySQL as a database servers. So you can see here the service name and the open port number here. So as of now, we are using SSH here. So it will showing the 22 port number. And for the Nginx, you can see the 80 port number, which is the by default for the web server. So in Windows, you can configure IIS as a web server. If anyone aware about that for the Windows for .NET based application.
Hello, Namdev sir. Could you please
Yeah.
repeat this end state, net state?
Netstat command will show you like how many ports are open based on the service, whatever you have installed. So let's say you have installed Nginx as a web server, so it can show here. And if you configure for the SSH, you can see here. So when we can use like if you are not sure for any custom application like Tomcat or something, so Tomcat has a 8080 by default port number. So you can just verify from here as well by using this command. And if you want to check like what is the meaning of this, so I can like as I said, you can use netstat then hyphen hell. It will show all the parameters here. What is the meaning of those options we use? L for listening, listening socket, then N for numeric values like that. Normally, if you want to check where what is the operating system and the details, so you can use cat command and /etc os release. You will get all the details like your operating system name, your version, other details. /cat/etc os release. One more command as well there, like when we install this operating system, if you want to find out when we install this operating system, so we can definitely from the AWS console, we can easily find out from the created date for the EC2 instance. But as if you are configuring as a on-premises service or something, and you want to check when this got created or installation happen, so how we can check, like how to check Linux installation date. So there is command, but I just forgot that. See, these are the not as a like, you never get opportunity to use this, but at least just for the knowledge purpose, I'm just showing this. You can see April 11 it got created. If you want to check the system time or date, you can use date command here. So by default, date format is UTC in every servers wherever you created any system things. If you want to change it to like Indian time zone, you can easily change it like /cd/etc. Then you need to remove that file. Which one? Local time, and you can link it back to how you can link it. The ln command is there. Link -s. This the time zone is like USR share zone info, then your Asia and Kolkata to your local time. See, so this is the command you can use to change your system time zone. By default, we will have a UTC time zone. So as an Indian client, if you are using our own servers and if you want to make it proper local time zone, so you can use or replace the by default UTC time zone. Okay, so you will get the proper system related data and time zone here. Date. So you can use this command. So what is the process? First, you need to go to /etc, then remove the local time file. OK, then check the date. See, it will now automatically convert to UTC. Why? Because by default, it will be a UTC time zone. But now I use this info command where I link this zone info file to Asia Kolkata, which is our Indian time zone format. and I'm just syncing this file or linking file this to local file, local time. So it will use as a system to show the date. So if I use again this command, even from you don't need to type every time on this commands. If you can use your keyboard up arrow, you will whatever the command you have executed that you will see here. See, so same command if you want to execute again, you can just execute it. So if I check again date command, I can show IST time zone here, right? So sometimes we might execute multiple commands over there and we want to check the history of that, how which commands I have executed as of now. So you can use history command. So it will give the process ID here and your sequence number and the command you have executed till now. You can see we have executed this netstat command, free command, your tail command, right? If you remember. So all the history it will show here. And now let me go to the our root folder directory. What I can do is to clear the screen, you can use shortcut Control plus L from your keyboard. OK, and let me run this command again. So suppose I want to copy this all the command which I executed in particular file. So I can simply redirect this all the output to any particular file like command output dot txt. So you can use this command here, history redirection, your greater than symbol and your file name. So what will happen? So it will output all the command to this one. See, so this is for your record just to you can use this any particular if you have any important command you want to just save it on your servers. So you can just use this redirection to save that output. If I do cat file for this file to just to check the content, you can see. So all the output has been stored here. So now let me check show you one more tricks here. See, now you have executed multiple commands here. Now from out of that you want to execute any particular commands. So let me see. For example, this systemctl status engines. Obviously, you can just copy this command or type this command and execute once again, right? Easily. But I don't want to do that. I want to just easily without putting more efforts. I want to do that. So what you can do is you can just enter this sequence number. What is that? 21. How we can execute that? Just use pipe. What we called it as a we call it as exclamatory or something. I just forgot. But you can use this and just execute give the sequence number and you can use that. You can see we can see the status. If you want to execute one more thing like IAP config, so what is the sequence number? 73. So we can use that as well. See. So this way, this is the additional tricks you can use if you want to execute any particular command by the sequence number. One more thing from your keyboard, press Control plus R just to check the search from your executed commands, and you can see that if I do like status here, I just type the word STA, so it will automatically fetch the commands from the executed history. So if you want to execute this, just press simply enter, so it will automatically execute that. So these are the pattern you can use. It's depend on you which one you can prefer. Now if you check some commands like top command, you can easily check like how many what is the uptime 42 minutes, how many users are login, then your load, your CPU utilization here. If you want to check your even you can monitor the memory utilization as well in the single command. If you want to check how you can come out from this process once you executed the top command, either press Ctrl plus C cancel or just press Q from your keyboard. OK. If you want to see more graphical format, I have shown in the last time, just install htop. You can easily install. How you can install this package? Yum install htop. If this, let's say this is for the Ubuntu operating system, you can use apt-get install and your package name htop. And if I use this now, you can see the better format, graphical color coding like that. So I can easily understand what is the utilization going on and what is the uptime. If I want to check what is the username for I'm login, you can use this command whom am I, who am I, you can use check your username. Find and replace I have already shown. If you want to find any particular keyword from the file, you can use this grep command. Now let me show you one more thing here. I use some of the time because sometimes you kept any files. Let me show you. For example, test.txt file. And if I go to this varlog nginx file directory, so now I am in varlog nginx. So sometimes I forget, like I stored one file like test.txt, but I don't know the exact location. So how I can find that test.txt file? So in that case, you have there is a two options, either locate or where is. Let me check one by one. So I am in varlog nginx where don't have that file test.txt file, but I want to check where I exactly store that file. So I want to just check that. So I can use locate test.txt. Okay, locate command not found. Let me use where is test.txt, but I'm not able to get that. Let me install this locate command. Sometimes this is the external command which not install. We can install easily by yum install locate command. If I do now, it's not giving the path actually, but at least it will give the where is if I use that, it's showing that in the particular file, but not giving the location. Let me try for one more file here. Now I'm in /root. I want to check this access log file. If I try to use locate command, let me see if I give the output. Okay, it's not giving. Where is? Okay, but at least we can ensure that yeah, the file is available, but it's not giving the path. So somewhere I use something, but I'm not recalling now. But at least you can use this where is command to check the files available or not. So in Windows, we normally, if you're not sure something file, so we just normally do here search keyword. But in Windows, we will get the complete location of that file. So in Linux might be the other commands I'm not recalling now, but you can use this kind of any where is command to check this file available or not. Just give you some additional context like file permission management, package management. I have shown you that you can use yum install. And to delete any particular files that I want to show you, let me I want to delete this test file. So I can use rm command here and the file name, whatever the file name you want to delete it. Okay, now it's asking the confirmation. There is one more option like rm -app command. It will automatically forcefully delete your file. It will not ask prompt. See, once you deleted that file, it will be gone. If I check by using ls command now, you can see that file is not available here. It's simply deleted. There is power up command or shutdown -r command you can use for the reboot your systems, or even you can use reboot command here. Or if you are aware about the run levels, even you can use init is 0 here to shut down the servers. Okay, now I want to give you some cases. This might be useful, or you might heard about this file permission. If I check ls-ls here, you can see the file permission. This is called as a directory, and read write execute. It will like in a 4 2 1. Let me draw here. This is octal number, basically octet. I have mentioned somewhere like your read rwx, read write execute. So in this format, your file permission look like this. So if I want to change any particular permission, you can simply use chmod and just change the permission. Let's say for this file, this is a user owner and group other. Okay, ugo, user group and other. So and you can see the ownership here. This will be ownership for the root user. If I want to change permission like a full, I can simply give read write execute for all the groups like users group and your others group as well for this command dot output file. If I want to check one more time, you can see it will executable file will print color code as a to green line, green color you can see. So all the permission has been changed now. So this is the normal method. You can give the change the permission for any particular files. But in real time cases, sometimes you might get the questions or the situation if you are working on the any on-premises data center or something. Let's say you have this folder, folder 1 and folder 2, and you have a multiple users, user 1, user 2, and user 3. You can consider as this might be your admin, this might be your finance user or something, or normal your junior in the team. Okay, Linux engineer. You want to give permission for folder 1, everyone, like read access or something, or sometimes only 2 users you want to give read access for this folder, and the Linux engine who is actively working on this folder, he might need read or write permission. So how you can do this? Because chmod will not help here. You might have the additional options here, additional permission like get FSL, set FSL. So anyone use that like Ganesh or Siddharth or any others? Get FSL, set FSL.
No, I didn't use.
So it's depend on the requirement. If you get the requirement like this way, as I said, like folder 1 and user, you have lots of user here. These 2 users you want to give read permission, and this one user you want to give the for either full permission or read write permission. So in that case, you can use this option, set FSL. How you can verify for the particular folder? Let me open that. Let me clear the screen. Let's say for the backup folder, if I can verify, get FSCL and your backup folder. So you can see here file backup on a group root. User has full permission, but other one has no permission. But let me create the user here. Yeah, we have this EC2 user and demo user, for example. So as of now, you can see for EC2 user, there is no permission. So if I can add special permission, how we can add that? Set FSCL -m to modify that. Then your username like ec2-user colon permission, for example, read, write, execute, and folder or file name, for example, backup. If I execute that, and how we can verify this permission applied or not? Again, same command, get FSL and the folder name. So now you can see the user has full permission of this folder. So earlier it's not showing here for the particular user. So this way you can add the particular user. If I want to add one more user here, what users we have? Let's say demo user. This one, okay? Demo user, and I want to give only read permission, for example. Okay. If I check one more time, so you can see. So EC2 user has a full permission for this folder, but demo user has only read only permission. So this way you can use this set FSL and get FSL command to give this kind of any situation based permission. Let me give you this command as well in the documentation. And get FSL. So there are lots of other commands. Okay, so I'm not going to execute each one. I will give you this document. So you can just and one liner description. So when during the practice, you can use one by one. Any questions till now related to any commands or any doubts on the commands?
Sir, I have one question. If
Yes.
I want to add 2 or 3 user,
Hmm.
then by using single command we can add, or we write to script.
Single command I never tried, but I need to or you can check like is that possible or not. For this set FSL you are talking.
Not set FSA. By using add user.
You can write down the script
Okay.
because when I'm not expert in the Ansible, but people use most of the time for their configuration. If anyone aware about that, so there might be you can write down the if you want to create the users on the multiple servers. So most of the times people use that Ansible script or something as a configuration. So I just collected by using ChatGPT some script here just to show you like how we can execute. This will be called as a cbang shell. So I want to show you that how we can check. Let's say you don't have any Linux machine. So how you can verify this script is working or just for the practice purpose. So you can use tutorial points online executor. And I think I have copied here. Let me show you that. So this is the online executor where you can easily similar to if you have done practice for the Docker Hub or something, you will get the runtime right real time just for the lab. So you can use where it is that command. If I copy this first one like printing the number and just replace here. Just I want to check this script is working properly or not. Here is the option like execute. It will show here like let enter the number. Let me press not here, just here. It will print the number. If I add 10 here, I need to execute one more time. Yeah. So it will be simply print the number like 1 to 10. So whatever the max value you have type here, it will print like that. If I execute one more time and give the 20 here, so it will calculate 1 to 20 based on this logic. This is the incremental line number. So same script, if I want to check on the Linux, this is just for the practical purpose online. You don't need to launch any servers or something for the practical. But as we have already created, so I can create the one, let's say demo script dot sh script. Script should be dot sh extension, and just press I to give and enter into the insert mode, and just from your mouse press right button. So it will be a copy here. How you can save this file? Just press escape shift colon WQ. If I want to verify the content demo script, the script code is there. Now if I try to execute, it will like adding the number 20, it will be print like this. Or another way to execute this, let me delete this demo folder. How you can delete the demo folder? Hyphen F. Let me add R here. Okay, rm hyphen rf to delete the folder. One more way is demo script dot sh, but this will not execute. We need to give the executable permission here. So normally by sh we can execute it. Okay, let me add 30 numbers like that. But if I try to this way dot slash root and give the file name, it will not execute. We need to give the full permission. Either we can go this 777, or there is a one more pattern like plus execute permission and give the file name. So it will add executable permission for this file. So this is another method by using chmod. So I have given this reference link. So if you can refer these URLs, so you will get the better understanding. There is a description also added. Okay. Now if I check ls, you can see the color has been changed, which is the executable file. Now if I do, so it will automatically come up here and I can easily execute that. This is just to printing the line number. So one more script I find out here. So in the real time, you might definitely not get this kind of task there. Definitely you might like if you want to take any particular folder backup daily basis. So that kind of situation you might get, or any operations you want to perform on the daily basis, like copying the files on the any particular servers, like a remote servers or S3 file bucket something. It's depend on the project requirement that might task you will get there. Okay, so based on that, you need to create the script, bash script. So even if you can check the job description where if you get the any JD, so in that case you might see that word bash scripting or Python scripting something. So either one, if you know anyone's like basic, so that will be good. If I try to execute this one now, like just taking the input from the user as a, you can use this read as an argument, and you can use and print this file. Let me copy this. Let me create the another file like read input dot sh. Okay. Press I to go into the insert mode. Right click of your mouse. It will automatically paste here copied data. Press escape shift colon to come out of from this editor. Okay. So now as a normal, we can definitely execute this sh. It will ask like your name, DevOps. If I enter the input, so it will print the hello DevOps. Welcome to the script. So this is the logic written in this script basically. getting the printing this input. Even you can print any kind of name here. Like if I go like this, hello world, and if I execute this, we can print this by using echo. Okay, just to give the process. Then read any name you can. For now, you can see the name is there. If I change, if I go to back, let me add like that location, for example, read location. So now if I want to come down, because my down arrow is not working from the keyboard, I want to come down to this bottom, like echo hello, uh, reading the name here, variable, welcome to the script. Shift G you can press, so it you will come the bottom of the line. Okay, and you can easily now come to this. This variable I need to change because now it's reading location. Whatever you are passing here, that should be here as a taking the variables. I just change the name. You can see the file now. It will ask the location as input and it will print the location and this message. If I execute this now, I just forget to change this name. But anyways, let's say if I add Pune, so it will be like automatically whatever the input we are giving this as a read input, it will inject here as a variable and it will be print and the message as well. So this is just a sample script, the way like you can write down. So let's say one more script I have just collected by using ChatGPT, like taking the folder backup script. So you can write down any kind of script. So in for the Linux machine, if you want to execute any particular task daily basis, let's say this folder backup you want to take every day, right? So how you can schedule that? Can anyone guess who has knowledge? How we can schedule the daily basis job in the Linux? So definitely we can just set up the cron job here. There is a one easy to use website. You don't need to remember that value, but we can give this like every minutes or something. Let's say you want to execute the particular script on the daily basis, so you can schedule the cron job in the Linux. Cron job, if I talk to in AWS event bridge, the CloudWatch event is similar to this cron job, where in AWS you can use that event bridge. You can schedule the cron expression like, let's say you want to execute for any particular timing 10 a.m. or something daily basis, you can use for the Lambda function trigger options. If I can show you quickly that option, if I search Lambda function, let me open any Lambda function here. So here you can see the button trigger, add trigger, which means you can schedule this Lambda function to execute daily basis or any particular time period. Here lots of trigger option is available like Alexa, API gateway or something. So now our it's depend on the use cases, but now our use case is just to use this CloudWatch events just to trigger the for the particular time period. Here is the option. Simply you can set up the new rule and whatever the role name you want to give. And here is the expression. If you're not aware about the what is the expression, you can just easily go this link and refer. But just to show now, you can see the for example here. Here the format is little bit different than the Linux machine. Like you want to execute for every day, you can see the rate one. And for any particular timing, let's say you want to execute 10 a.m. You can see this pattern Monday to Friday. If you want to execute daily basis, so you can just give like the star and it will automatically execute every day on the this mention the timing, and you can just simply add here. So this is the way. You don't need to write down any code for this, but in Linux we need to write down the code and then the configuration files. This is the very easy to use crontabgenerator.org website. So let's say you want to execute any particular job for any particular timing. Let's say, for example, 10 a.m. Okay, every day, every month, every day of the week. Okay, and here you just need to give the path. Let's say which path I need to give. Just check pwd and ls. Let's say I want to execute this script every day. Okay, so under slash root, I need to give this location slash root and that file name, right? So if I generate this, so I don't need to remember these values like what will be, and you can see when this will execute every day 10 a.m. Okay, and if I can simply copy this and where I can write down to check the cron job status, you can simply use I think it's not installed, so I need to install yum install cron. Cron tab. Let me try this. Let me check quickly. Okay, crony, I need to give the name yum install crony. Okay. If every time I don't want to, I don't need to give this yes confirmation. So what option I can use hyphen y just to by default approval. So it will not again ask me again the confirmation. Okay. So now if I can check, yeah, now it's coming. Cron tab space hyphen L just to check the if there are any existing cron jobs configured or not. So you can see there are no cron job configured for the root account. So how you can edit that? Just use cron tab hyphen E option to edit that cron tab configuration file. So press I for the insert mode and just use your mouse right click. It's not copied. Let me copy from here. Copy and paste here. Okay, by using your right click of mouse right click. Okay, now press escape, shift colon and WQ. So if I check one more time now, cron tab hyphen L, now you can see this cron job has been configured successfully. Okay, so now if I check tomorrow 10 a.m., you can see the logs. Where you can see the logs, you can use this either dmessage or tail hyphen f where log message. That file might not present, not sure, but in Ubuntu this is there. The option might be different thing. Let me check this lost log. Oh, either you can print this the message. Next day you can see at least the cron job executed or not. So sometimes in the Linux you might get the question like you have any particular script and you want to execute only during the reboot of the machine. Anyone got this requirement? You want to execute that particular script only when server got rebooted. So in that case, how we can configure that? So in that case, there is one options. Let me go to end. The option is like @reboot you need to pass. The font is visible or should I increase?
No, sir, it's visible.
Okay. @reboot you can use and you can just give the location of the file like
Sir,
slash
please
root.
increase the font.
Okay.
Sir, please increase the font. Little bit.
It's fine now.
Okay, sir. No problem.
Yeah. So either @reboot you can use and give the path of the particular script. Okay. So there might be a different location just for show. I'm just using this slash root. But in your case, if you are using for any particular home folder like EC2 user you are using, so in that case, you can give that particular location like slash home EC2 user and any particular location folder structure and the other path. So it's give the proper path and just escape and save it. If I want to verify now, I am able to see both the one that daily morning 10 a.m. and @reboot wala also. Okay. So now I configure this cron tab for root user. If I go to EC2 user, okay, I am in EC2 user. If I check who am I can see I am the EC2 user. If I execute this command now, so it's not visible for me. Anyone guess why it's not showing as a EC2 user? Can anyone guess or just try to?
Yeah, actually, we have configured contact for the other users, so that's why it will not list out in this.
Yes, yes. So when you are configuring in the real-time cases for any particular user, so just make sure if you want to do any changes. So for first you need to switch that user and then do the any changes there. Just give me 1 minute. I'm just plugging my charger. Anyone any the doubts in the commands for this cron job something? Sharad?
No, sir.
Sir, when we use root user and EC2 user,
See in the real-time cases you will not get a full permission sometimes because they have a restricted permissions. Every user not will not get a sudo users sudo permission. If I go to, so in that case you can use your own user. Let me go to switch user. There is one sudoers file /etc sudoers. If I want to show you, so if you want to create any particular user in your system and you want to give the sudo access, because if you create a normal user like in Windows, you if you create the user new user, that user will not get administrator access. So in that case, if you want to give administrator access, you need to pass the group. So if I can show you quickly, the control, but at the server side, we can able to see that option user and management. But this is a client machine, so not sure where that option I can find. User management again. But for Linux, you can add in this sudo files. Oh, let me try here quickly. Then we can jump into this Git. Let me go to home folder. Let's say we have this demo user. Okay, let me pass how you can set up the password for that user. The command is pass wd and give the demo username. Okay. This will ask the password. I am typing the password, but for the security reasons, you are not able to see that. Okay. It will ask again confirmation. Yeah, it's saying like password is very simple, so no issues. So now if I want to switch, let me exit from the this root user. Okay. So what is the user I am now in? I'm in the EC2 hyphen user. If I want to switch user demo user. Okay. The command is switch user hyphen the particular username. It is asking the password. Let me type password. Okay. I'm in the demo user now. If I want to try to make a full access like a sudo user. So if I try to use this sudo switch user, it will not allow me. Why? Because this user is not available in the sudo's file. So that's why if I enter this password, that error will come up. Demo user is not a part of this sudo's file, which means this demo user doesn't have a full access. So if I go to back now in the root user, how you can go to the root user? EC2 user has already permission. That's why I'm able to switch here. Sudo user switch. Okay. So let me go to this /etc sudo's file and let me go to the back. You can see root user here allow and he can execute any commands. Even in the Linux, you can if you let's say you have a multiple team members and some team members you want to give only for particular command access. That also you can configure that scenario based things. Okay. If I want to add here demo user all equal to all space. And when I do switch user, it asking me password, right? If I want to disable that as well, I can do. What is the option? No pass wd colon all. Okay, let me make it capital letter. Yeah. All and this as well. Okay. Now what I have done is I am adding the user. I am giving the full permission. He can execute anything similar to root user. And when I do switch user, it asking me the password. Okay. So that also I am able to. I am just giving the skip those password asking. Okay. So it will not ask me the. So what I have done here, it is showing me the read only file error here, right? Warning changing a read only file. And if I do normal shift colon WQ, it's not saving, right? So how we can override this? Just to adding this shift colon and give the exclamatory, right? So this is a forceful addition to these files. If I want to check one more time, cat/etc sudoers, and you can see here. Okay. Now let me try. I am in the root user now. If I want to switch demo user, it asking password. Something might change. Let me. If I do switch user now, I think somewhere I mistakes in the file. So let me quickly check. Adding sudo's file with no password. Username all no password. Yeah, I think correct. Acha. Bracket I missed. Okay, so this might normal troubleshooting you will get in the Linux. Let me go to that as well. So vim you can use as an editor here, okay, to write update any files. Yeah, so here I made the mistake. The bracket I have not given. Okay. So now if I want to save this file quickly, now let me go back and switch to demo user. Asking password. Okay. Now if I switch sudo su, see, so this will not ask the password here for switch user. So I can, as I'm root user, I become root user now. I can able to do anything on the system. But if you are working on the on-premises infrastructure or any VMware, or you are giving any additional user permission to anyone, so we normally don't give the full access until and unless there is approval or such a requirement. Otherwise, if any particular team members want to execute any particular command, that only things you can allow in the configuration files. So he can only execute that command only. Okay, not the every command like installation of any packages, removing the packages or rm command something. So use this command very carefully. Rm command, rm hyphen rf. Let's say you are giving, let's say you want to remove this read file, for example, and somehow by mistakenly either as a human mistake you type this here or somewhere. So what will happen? Or before that, like that. Please always say here it is a dangerous to operate recursively on this slash, or by mistakenly I added here. So it will give the permission obviously. Let me try this directly. Now it's not allowing me to delete that. But let me, I am available in this main root directory structure. I want to show you something. Sticky bit permission. Anyone aware about this? This is called as a sticky bit permission, where you can see this hyphen t, sorry, t option is there. So that means only a particular owner or a root only can delete any particular files. Let's say you have this backup folder, and in that case, you have a multiple team members access of the servers. So you don't want anyone users can delete that files available in that backup folders. So in that case, you can apply the sticky bit permission there. So only either you as a ownership or root user can only delete those files from that particular folder. So normally Linux tame folder has that permission. You can see this T, and you can easily apply the sticky bit share permission for there for any particular situation. So other users cannot delete any files or any folder structure from the your backup folder, because that is very critical, right? So in that case, you can use that sticky bit permission. So what things? For the document wise, I have added here to read out the descriptions. So at least you can just follow this one as a DevOps engineer. So definitely it's a depend the situation of what things you need to that you come in the actual working. But at least file permission management, your package installation, package management, how to install the particular packages, as we have seen of the yum install command. Then troubleshooting command like we seen about the netstat command, top command, your uptime command, your df-h. Now one more thing I forgot. Let me quickly show like process. This might comes in the real time. How to check the process for Linux machine. So for Windows, we can quickly just right click on the task manager and we can easily see here the process wise, right? And if you want to kill, let's say this Google Chrome browser getting hang and it's taking the lots of resources like memory and CPU. So in that in case, you might also done this situation. You just right click over and just end this task, like which is killing that process as simple as. So that job will kill. Okay. But in Linux, we have a different process like command. ps space hyphen au accept, and then yeah, just this command you can execute, and you can see the similar to like task manager. You can see the process ID here, process ID, okay, and the process here. Let me try to execute any process. I want to show you the little bit here. Just duplicate session I can create. Sorry. I am just executing this watch command. Normally to check the displays, we can easily run this command df-h, and for memory utilization checking free-tm. So again and again, I don't want to execute this command. Like let's say for the rsync, you have executed the rsync command and you want to check continuously progress, how much percent is completed. So every time you don't need to write the command. You can simply add watch command before that. OK, and just execute this. So you can see automatically the value is changing. Right, means it's refreshing every 2 seconds. So you don't need to write this command or execute again and again. OK, just add the watch before that command. So now if I add or check the process now, we might get that process here. That's what watch process. I think here it's coming, but I'm not able to scroll it. But I think this one. If I want to grab only particular process, let me add those as well here. I think something I missed. Yeah. So you can filter it out by using grep command here and watch. You can see the process ID here. This number is process ID. This one watch free-tm. OK, this process I this process ID. If you want to kill this process, you can see the process still going on. It's refreshing every 2 seconds. What command you can use? Kill -9 to forcefully kill that command and just paste this process ID. OK, this number and just execute it. So now we can see the process watch command, the free tire command, free-tm command got killed. If I execute this command again just to check, it's not printed as an output because we have just killed it. OK, if I go back to this another prompt, so you can see it's that process is exited because we have killed that process. So this way you can just use the process just to check the process command ps-au accept. OK, if you want to check why we use au accept, you can simply use -help and you will get all the details. Sometimes if this command is not working, so at least use man and ps command. OK, this is part of the internal and external command. If you can read about that, you will just understand that. So sometimes man works and sometimes help works. So this way you will get the other descriptions. This one, select all process, AU except we have used, right? So this way you can just get the idea what are the options we can use and what is the meaning of that. So any other questions before we jump into Git? No?
Sir, what is soft link and hard link?
So we used that before, I think 7 years or something, when we work as a initial for the Linux. So that I'm not recalling exactly, but sometimes in the hard link, if we deleted the source file, your target file where you link that available, and in the soft link, I guess, if you deleted your source file, the target file also got deleted. So, but you can check the definition, theoretical definition. because it's far away for me now just to recalling. But that question you will get in the if you are giving the interview for the Linux position or something.
Yes, I got this question in the interview. That's why I
Yeah,
asked.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I will just note this. I will give you the exact definition. Let me add here. I will share this document as well, just the commands. So there are number of other command as well, but I just collected this as a regular use cases command like curl command to download any particular package, packages from the completely URL or just check URL is working fine or not, something. To shut down the servers, definitely you can use power up or shutdown command. One more thing is I init 0 as a run level, so you can just making the shut down the servers. And to reboot that, either you can use reboot command or shutdown -r as well. Sometimes we need to compress the folders like in Windows we do right click of that files or folders and just make it as a compress here zip folder. So same thing you can use zip command as well to compress the folders or files. See, this zip folder has created. If you want to unzip, you can just use this unzip command. So there are different things in the Linux as well because Linux is not a small things. It's very bigger one. So it's depend upon your position you are applying. So nowadays, at least the troubleshooting command, the how to use prompt shell scripting and the checking the logs or troubleshootings, you at least if you're aware about those file permission something, so that will be enough. But going forward, you can definitely learn gradually the other situations. If you are specially apply for the Linux administrator or something as a data center, then definitely you will go the deeper one. Okay, because in that case you might get very high level questions over there. Kernel crashing, any other server thing crashing, or how we can recover that kernel grub loader issues something. So there are different things available in the Linux. Okay, so we will not going to cover that. But if you have interest, you can definitely just go through a link and just you can definitely read it out. So I have mentioned these some of the links like shell scripting tutorials, file system, VI editor. So whatever I just executed in the VI editor, you will get in this link, javapoint.com, VI editor, the shortcuts as well. Your set FSL commands, your Linux distributions, your bash scripting, and this is for the online executor, the bash executor. So now coming to the Git, how many you have used experience or work on the Git, any practical or any project base? I mean the personal or project base. How many how many of you work on the Git?
No.
Anyone? Rohit, Siddharth?
Just I have just only
No,
theoretical knowledge. I didn't work on it, but I have just a little bit theoretical knowledge.
Okay,
no, actually, I didn't.
okay, just 1 minute. Hi Benjamin, you audible?
Yes, my stuff was on mute. Good evening.
Okay. Okay. Do you have any questions for this Linux commands or any other things?
No, I just joined, so I was thinking it
Okay.
was
Okay.
tomorrow, but when I saw the message, I just quickly joined. I've been online
Hmm.
since.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Anyways, yeah. Okay. For today, we will not spend too much time for now, Git. So whatever things we can cover next 30 minutes, and we can then remaining stuff we can go with this next day tomorrow. So Git and GitHub is different thing in the if we consider as a theoretical and the working wise. So Git is your normally version control system which track your application code changes and manage, and your GitLab or GitHub or any other cloud hosting service where you can host your Git repository. You can manage those anywhere. Even if you use Git as a local machine and if you want to access through from any remotely, so it's not possible, right? Because that is available in your local window machine. So if you use cloud-based hosting like your GitHub or a GitLab or something, so from there you can manage anywhere if you have that Git access. So it's a GitHub or GitLab is a cloud hosting service where you can store your Git code repository. You can manage your users, so we can I will show you that as well in GitHub what is the option, how we can create the repository, how we can create the branch, and how we can create the tags, what is the difference between these branches and the tags. Okay, and then how we can give any particular project access to particular users, so that also possible in the real time cases. Then the what the strategy we follow as a real time, because everyone the code review process is there, right? If you manage the Git for the deployment cycle. So we will not give everyone's maintainer access. Maintainer is basically the similar to admin access, full access. So he can manage everything. And then developer access level also there, who can commit and do merge request something. So I will show you that as well. But as a simple definition to differentiate this, Git is a version control system which helps to track the code changes, and your GitHub or GitLab is a cloud-based hosting service where you can store the repository code. You can manage users there, permissions for particular repository and the projects, and like that. So I will show you. So as a regular, am I sharing my screen? Right? You are able to see my screen, right?
Yes.
Okay. So if I explain the use cases of the GitHub or Git repository in the real-time cases, let's say this is our centralized Git server, which most of the project use GitHub. These are the market leader. Then your GitLab. Okay. Then might be different tools, Bitbucket or something. I never use that Bitbucket. So it's depend on the project to project, but mostly people use this GitLab or GitHub. Okay. So let's say by default, when we create any repository, it will create a by default master branch. Master branch is something like your piece of code here available, application code. We can key by default it will be a master branch, or sometimes it will be main branch. So out of that, when we as a working in the as a developers, let's say you have a different developers available in the team, because in the project we not a single person who is managing the complete branch or repository. We might have different developers, your and DevOps engineers. Okay. So the ideal practice is, let's say I have created one branch like feature branch from the master branch. So whatever the based on my Jira ticket, let's say I have got the task for adding the one feature button on my application, any website, any features I'm working on that. Okay. So I have created this. branch like example one. So whatever the changes code commit I am doing, I am changing the this branch. I am not directly doing the changes on master branch, and that is not a recommended way. Okay, and no one allow that directly changes into the master branch. Okay, that is not a good practice. So I can do based on my Jira ticket, I can just do whatever the changes I'm working. I can push my changes to this branch exam one basically. So then once I'm done this changes, okay, so I can easily push or the further process like a code review process, merge request. So that will definitely I will perform before merging into the master. So let's say you have a two developers now, developer one and developer two. Okay, let's say in your absence, let's say you are on the holiday or something and you are working both on this project like Jira ticket. In that case, because you are working doing all the changes from your local code. Okay, you are from your local machine, and this developer have his own separate local machine. So now if you want to work on your Jira sorry branch, this branch, so what things he need to do first? He need to check out from the IDE tool, which is the Visual Studio or something, or IntelliJ. So use different IDE tool are there where developer use. I can show you that Visual Studio as well. Okay. Let me minimize it. So if I want to update anything in this branch, first I need to check out. Checkout means switching your branch to this branch. Okay. Then I need to fetch the data, git pull and git fetch. So whatever the he has pushed the changes on this branch, so I can sync into my local machine. Okay. Because if you have a mismatch into your data, you have not first taken the pool and you are starting adding the content here. And if you try to push your commit, it will not allow. It will say like first git pull. So it remotely changes whatever the done. You need to first sync with your local machine. Then whatever the changes you are doing, that will be possible to push. Okay. Otherwise, it will not possible to push. So always a best practice if you want to switch any branch. So first you run the command, git pull. So whatever the remotely any changes happen, that will be sync in your local system. Okay, then you can able to push your whatever the changes you want to push on that particular branch. This branch exam one. So same thing for other developer as well. This is the
Namdev,
normal.
Namdev,
Yeah.
it will be small kind of bouncer. So request you to please.
Hmm. Okay. So let's say we have this centralized repository where by default we will have a, definitely I will show you the practical, so don't worry about that. Once you see the practical you will get the idea. So by default when we create master branch, this will sorry repository, the main by default we will have a either main branch or master branch for let's say for the GitHub. For example, I will show you GitHub because I have account created. So what is the real time working here? Let's say I am the developer here and one more colleague I have. We are the developers or we are the DevOps engineer. We are working on one task. Let's say we have a Jira ticket where we want to create the VPC. Okay, for example. Now, what I can do is based on the Jira ticket, which you can follow any naming convention for the feature branch, like feature and your brand ticket Jira ticket number something to create the branch from the out of this master branch. Then on our local machine, this practical I will show you, so don't worry about that. So then I can do my changes like if I am using the Terraform code or a CDK code or any other code things, infrastructure as a code, I am just adding here in this branch on our local by using this Visual Studio code IDE. Then once I have done with these changes, I can push my changes to this feature branch, not the master branch directly. Okay, that is not possible, and that also not a good practice. Directly merging, sorry, pushing changes to master branch. Okay, So we have whatever the task base we have created, we have added the changes to this feature branch. Okay, till now it's clear. Or anyone any doubts? Ganesh?
So
Yeah.
yes, on these feature branches where we have to team working together and they have a Jira tickets for VPC. If,
Yes.
for example, that these two team working together on the different branches, feature branches, directly to the master uh, to the main branch. If one is working on a VPC and the other one is working on EC2, how
Mhm.
is it going to affect the master branch if they're having different tickets?
Yeah, I will come to that
Okay.
after this logic. So now this both DevOps engineer or developer working on the same, let's say the same feature branch. So in case this developer is absent, and then because he is doing every changes from his local machine, desktop or laptop. Now turn to this developer two. Let's say he first need to check out this branch, feature branch on his local desktop or laptop. Check out. Then how he can check out? I will show you that. Then he need to take pull on his local machine to sync all the changes from this feature branch to his local branch. Okay. So there is a two concept like remote branch and local branch. So I will show you both one. So now, so whatever he is doing the changes, he take the pulls. So that means so all the changes will reflect on his local branch. Now, whatever the additional pending task, he just add the feature changes here, like the code changes basically. And he again use the command like git commit to commit the message, then adding the files, and finally use git push command to push the changes to this feature branch. Okay. Once that is completed, then once this task is completed, then this user can raise merge request for the code review. So whoever in the our team, like any senior or technical architect or lead, he can do code review for this feature branch to master branch. So that we will get easily. There is a differentiate. It will automatically compare your master branch to feature branch. So whatever the changes is reflected, we can see there. Okay, I will show you that practical as well. So this is the strategy we normally follow in the real time. Then once code review is completed, then definitely the deployment cycle will be there. I will show you when we configured for the CI/CD pipeline. So once that is MR request completed, merge request, which is the code review, then only you can able to merge your changes to master branch. Otherwise, not possible to do code changes push directly to the master branch. So first you need to raise a merge request, or sometimes we call it as a pull request (PR). Then once code review completed by your senior or tech lead, whatever available in your team, then you can once that is merge request approved, then only you can push these changes to master branch. Okay, this is the flow for the in a particular branch. So any doubts in this logic now? This is for the single branch. I will come to that multi branch as well.
Means basically the thing is that whatever the repos are there, it will be
Hmm.
available in the master. Okay, whatever the data user is doing the code changes and other things, it will
Hmm.
be some of the place
Feature branch.
uh,
Yes.
feature branch. Okay, after that uh, he is submitting that codes after his work is getting completed from the feature branch.
Hmm.
It will be getting reflected to the master branch,
Yeah. After the code review completed, it will be merged to master branch.
merged to the master branch,
Yeah.
just like that.
Yes. Yes. So this is master branch. So no one has authority directly to change the anything into the master branch directly. This is not a recommended way. So out of the master branch, we create a feature branch. Then as a developer, we do whatever the code changes in this feature branch. Once our task is completed, then we will raise merge request, which is called as a code review process. Then whoever the team lead or senior on our team, he will do code review. If he thinks like any bugs are there or code standards you not followed or something variables we have added the by mistaken or unnecessary code you have added, he just do comment on that like hey for example, hey developer's name, just please correct this codes or this line numbers you have added by mistakenly or this is not a standard. So then based on that, developer again do that code changes, and then once you have done with that code changes the suggested by the code reviewer, then you can inform him like we have done the code changes, you can just review again. Once he's satisfied with that code review, then he approve that request. Okay, approve one, he will merge this feature branch to your master branch. Then whatever codes available in your feature branch, that will be merged into master branch. I hope it's clear now. Definitely, I will. Once we see the demo, you can just maybe you will get more clearance, or if you have any additional questions, you can just ask me over there. Now coming to this multi-branch, which Ben had asked, this is your main branch like master branch on the repository. Okay, let's say I am the developer. I'm creating one feature branch which is related to let's say VPC and EC2. Okay, I am doing my changes in the feature branch, not in the master branch. I am doing my code changes. Now in our project, we have a developer. This is for the DevOps engineer, which is he's doing changes related to infrastructure. Now, because in the folder structure, we have a different thing. Let's say, for example, if I show you the CDK folder structure, there is a different thing. A folder structure like in the CDK. Let me show you if I have that. Is this visible clearly?
No, sir.
Others?
Yeah. Yes.
Yes.
Let me try to zoom in. Okay, I hope it's better now. So let's make this is the example of the CDK, which is the infrastructure as a code. So whenever we work as a DevOps engineer, so we work on this folder structure like under the leaf folder structure, we will have this main stack file. Not this one. This is just don't be a confused like this. What this is the code written and this. I'm just showing the example like how we works. Okay, just don't confuse about this. Whatever the things you are able to see now. So as infrastructure DevOps engineer, we need to do changes in this main folder like leaf folder, which is related to infrastructure. Okay, so whatever the VPC we need to add, whatever the RDS cluster we need to add here in the as infrastructure code, we need to add in this stack file. This is the folder structure of the CDK. Okay, similar in the Terraform. If you look at the Terraform, we will have our main.tf file, var.tf file, something, right? So as an infrastructure point of view, we need to add the changes in this folder structure. So same thing, if there are a developer, backend developer or something, he want to do his feature changes. It's related to your applications, not the infrastructure, right? Because as a developer, he can't touch infrastructure code. He can able to do changes related to his changes, like in adding the any feature button in the application or any menu changes, something like that, for example. So let's say he is working his Lambda function. So Lambda function folder structure is different in this CDK code. We have this SRC folder. So he can just do changes in this index.ts, which is similar to your Lambda function index.js, for example. So he will do changes in that file. and he will create one more file branch from the master branch. He will not touch this my feature branch. Okay, so he will create new feature branch from the master branch. Are you clear on this? How developer will works? He will not touch anything in my feature branch because I am working related to infrastructure. He is developer working on his website related feature changes. Okay, so what he can do is he will create new feature branch from the master branch. So whatever the changes he can do, like related to that folder structure will be differently, like as I said here, for example, CDK. So CDK has a different folder structure, leave for the mainly for the infrastructure changes, and SRC for the your Lambda function changes. Let's say. So this is the Lambda function configuration. So whatever the changes configuration he has, he just adding here the content, for example. Okay. So then once he is done with his changes, I'm not saving here, but once he is done with his task, so what he can do is he can do again the same process like code review process. Code review process, and he once that is satisfied, so then code review approved, and that will be get approved in the merge into the master branch. So this is the one of the case. Now I will show you the different cases as well because there are different things. This is the master. Let me give you one more situation. Sometimes I am a DevOps engineer. I am working this feature branch. When you see the practicals, you might get this clear on this. What's the different branching and the single branching strategy? Then I am adding the infrastructure related to VPC and RDS. Let's say, right? So whatever the things I have done, so I can do code review and I can merge into the master. So let's say there is a another DevOps engineer who is working on different thing like your EKS cluster setup or your S3 bucket setup or IAM role configuration, for example. Okay, because in project there might be different DevOps engineer, right? It's a different project to project again. So now what I can do is before creating the feature branch from the master branch, I can ask this DevOps engineer, hey, DevOps one, do you have 1 minute? Do you have updated your code changes into master branch before I can create the new feature branch for these changes for my task, for example, EKS, S3 and IMA. So if he is updated his changes, then I can simply create new feature branch from this master branch. Okay, because his infrastructure related changes all sync with the master branch. That's why I can easily create one more feature branch from the master branch here. Okay, in case, and I can start my work by adding this EKS cluster, S3 and IMA roles. Okay, in case he has not, he has made all the changes related to VPC and RDS, but that is available on the locally. He has not pushed into the feature branch and then code review and the master branch. So in that case, what will happen? What we can do is this DevOps engineer can create his new feature branch out of the master branch, and he can do add his work. Okay, and he can just simply push this code changes to master branch by following that strategy like code review and merge. Once approved that, he can do uh, merge his feature branch to master branch. Okay, then this developer can later on, let's say, depend on his work progress. Once he is done with that, he can also push his changes to master branch. Then in the master branch, what will happen? Both the tasks will be in sync because he has updated his task in the master branch and he also updated his task to master branch. So now do both the changes like EKS, S3, IMA roles, VPC, RDS, infrastructure related to code that is available in the master branch now. Okay, and we can do our deployment process like on the dev. So whatever the deployment cycle is there, like build integration, your sonar check and the dev environment deployment like that. Okay, we will come to that in the later session. We first need to deploy on the dev environment. So what will happen if we deploy all the things in this dev environments? Like we have created the VPC, your RDS, your S3, your EKS cluster, okay, and your IAM role, which is created by the both the DevOps engineers. Now, in future, let's say after a couple of weeks or something, we got new task like adding any or services like your EC2 or your one more S3 bucket something. So in that case, I can create new branch out of this master branch because every whatever these guys to DevOps engineer they have created the infrastructure. This okay, that code is available in the master branch, right? So I can create new feature branch here based on my Jira ticket, and I can start adding this infrastructure code related to EC2 and S3. But in this case, I don't need to remove these codes like related to your VPC RDS because if I remove this code from this when I do this code changes EC2 or S3, so ultimately what will happen? I have removed the VPC and RDS code in the from the repository, sorry branch. When I do this job, EC2 and S3, if I do code changes and push into the master branch, if I do the deployment again, so what will happen? Can anyone guess? Never mind if you don't have experience in this branching strategy or infrastructure as a code. Just at least try one. Just guess. I will show you in the practical as well. What will the happen? Because that
It will
is
be getting conflict.
Come again,
it
please. Come
will
again with the question.
it will not conflict. It will be your infrastructure deletion because what will happen? These developers, sorry, DevOps engineer, they have created this all the infrastructure first. Your BPC, RDS, S3, EKS, IMA, okay, with their respective Jira ticket. Now, in future, let's say either this developer or this developer, he got the new task like EC2 and S3 bucket creation. So when he's doing his changes related to Terraform code or CDK code, so what will happen by mistakenly or somehow he removed the code related to RDS or VPC from the that in that branch when he is working for this task. So what will happen in this case if we remove this? So definitely when we do code review, this will capture. Don't worry about that. But I'm just giving the example like how to take care when we working as a branching model. Okay. So when we do the code review, we will get that option. You know, in the Terraform, we will get plus minus. If we are adding any resources, it will act as a plus their icon, right? And if something goes going to delete, it will add as a minus. So that will become in the branching when we do code review. So don't worry about that. Code review will definitely ask this developer why you are removing this. Okay, so that is the first point of action. But I'm just giving the context like what will happen if we removed any existing code from the infrastructure as a code repo. Okay, so let's say I remove this code and I do follow all the code review process and merge my changes to master branch. So in that case, if I trigger the pipeline and that's changes deployed on the dev environment, so what will happen? So the code which I removed for the infrastructure like VPC and RDS, that will be deleted. Okay, and that will be very risky like in the environment if that gets disturbed. Okay, definitely we will follow the test and production environment, but before that we get here. But at least if we remove or do these mistakes, our infrastructure structure will be removed from the code review for the code. Okay, so that is the reason we need to take care while we dealing with the multiple teams or their teammates. Okay, so we need to be sync within a internal coordination. Like if he's doing any changes and you want to create one more branch from the master branch, first check before the deployment, is he done his changes pushed properly in the master branch. If he not pushed, so at least you can take a pull from his branch. Okay. So any questions till now? So might be you might get clear idea on when I show you the practicals in that case what I'm talking to, if you don't have any real-time experience in this branching strategy. So that is somehow we follow as a real time in everywhere respectively. There might be a little bit changes, but ideally same. So definitely we can see this demo tomorrow because we almost passed 2.5 hours now, and it will be more bombarding to you guys. So for the demo, I can show you tomorrow morning. So just join on the time because going forward, as I shared the latest documentation you. So these are the very core level and which is the demanding. If you can check the JD for the any DevOps profile, so they will mention like Git, Jenkins or GitHub Actions, Docker, Kubernetes, and these stuffs. Okay. So these are the very interested area. If you show interest me, I can give the more confidence on that. Just giving the more things like practical something. So what?
Namdev,
Yeah.
today EOD is there?
EOD not possible because these are the uh, advanced topic now, so we can just go properly. Otherwise, people will get bombarding here. Just to they will not digest properly, right?
Okay.
So we can connect tomorrow, and then tomorrow morning I can show you first the demo how we can create the branch repository from the GitHub, how we can manage user permission, and how we can do these changes like how we can create the changes from the master branch, how we can use commands, git commit, git push, git pull. Okay. So there is a concept git conflict as a troubleshooting. We might seen that. So when it comes, I will show you that as well. Git conflicts. You might heard about that. So once I show you the practicals, then you might get more idea like how it works. This is not a rocket science, very easy to understand, but when you do a practical science, you see, so that will be clear more on this. Just few commands only we need to remember as a learning the Git. So there is no bigger complex things in this. Very easy to use. But at least for the task for you for the tomorrow, just install this tool, Visual Studio. Okay. You can simply search Visual Studio and whatever the operating system you have.
So it is required for a Terraform as well, right?
Yeah, definitely. Going forward, it will be required because we are going to write down the Terraform file and Kubernetes as well in this. Visual Studio Code. Yeah. If I check my version, let me see which version I am using. About version 1.8 it's showing and which is recently updated. Everyone has Windows machine.
For me, it is Windows.
Yeah, me also Windows.
Okay. Yeah, based on your operating system, you can just download. This is for the Windows and this is for the Linux, Mac as well. Okay, so based on your operating system, you can just download that. Just simply search Visual Studio. You will get this link and only download it from the official website. Okay, don't download it from the third party. And let me give you one link so at least you can just go through that. Just what is that Git and how it works. Even regular commands are there. If you can put effort just 2 or 3 days, you will learn this. This is not a very complex thing. Okay. Just read this basic concept only. What is the git and the git commands? Definitely we will show you tomorrow. I will show you on the group. Okay. So before wrap up, do we have anything? Anyone? Any questions?